What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake. This is our weekly podcast where we explore the world of nerd from TV, movies, games, comics, news, and books.
We will give you our opinions, theories, and oftentimes spoilers.
We will also have friends and experts as guests on the show to elaborate further on those topics.
But be prepared. We like to have a few drinks, so buckle up.
If you want to support our show, like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
You can also become a premium subscriber over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd.
Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chad, I hope you had a good week, but let's just jump right into our first topic. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, so this past week was episode 8 and the season finale of Ahsoka, now streaming on Disney+. Before we get into our thoughts, some moments from the episode, just going to throw out a spoiler alert for you listeners. If you haven't watched it yet, tune out, tune back in once you get a chance to do that. Now that the first season is over, we don't know if it's getting picked up for a second season. It's kind of leading into,
It will.
Dave Filoni's
It
Heir to
will.
the
Look how
Empire
much
film, but
so much Star Wars shit is just continuously coming out. It'll get picked up.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts overall on this season?
Well, you already know my thoughts, but I will share with our listeners.
Yes.
Not great, Cotton. And one of the things that you and I had talked about is that which is wild that I've wrapped up 4 seasons of a TV show while watching this show, is that your argument has been, you haven't watched Rebels, you got to watch Rebels. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll watch Rebels. So I watched Rebels on my 2 weeks paternity leave because I am a Faja now. And I loved it. But it did not really help my hatred for, not hatred, but my dislike for the Ahsoka show. There were a couple episodes, the past 2 prior to the finale, I really, really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Even you didn't like one of them, and I was like, seriously, that episode was bomb. Like, so it's not like, it wasn't like I was being a stick in the mud and like wasn't gonna budge on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know I'm a stubborn person, and sometimes when I'm like,
What
no, like I just stay that way. But like I was trying to be very open-minded about this because, this is what we do. And for the most part, this is an 8-episode season. There were only 2 good episodes, in my opinion. That's a fail to me. That's a fail. The season finale was a huge letdown, in my opinion. Again, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
There were parts about it that I liked, and we'll talk about it. But what are your thoughts on it?
I really enjoyed the season. I think it was episode 6 of the season was the one where I was like, meh, on. And then, I mean, the finale, I felt like it fell short. There's a lot of cool things that happened leading up some stuff. Also, it's kind of a bummer because it ends on a cliffhanger with Baylan Skoll, but Ray Stevenson has passed away. So I don't know how that's going to progress. We'll have to see. But overall, I really enjoyed the show. I thought the casting was spectacular. They definitely...
After watching Rebels, I will 110% agree. Casting was phenomenal.
Yeah,
for everyone.
yeah, like for they did very much like downplay, like
Characters
Hera and
and
and Sabine. Like the finale was where she shined. Um, I thought just with like her combat.
yeah, I just think that they just didn't really nail her character as well as, which again, like you said, is super annoying because it's the same. It's Dave Filoni, right?
Yeah,
Like that's annoying to me because in the four seasons of Rebels, I love Sabine,
yeah,
and in this show, and you've even agreed with me, they just did not do her character justice at
yeah.
all.
They
She's gorgeous, but that doesn't fix.
bad writing.
Yeah.
you Yeah, they really like dumbed down like her motivations and
Also not
everything like
knocking the
that.
actress's acting capabilities.
Oh no.
I don't want anyone to think that I'm like being a dick about it. I
Yeah,
just think
it's
that in
Natalie Lou
in in
Bedizo or something like
comparison
that. Yeah.
to the character she was portraying, they just didn't
Yeah,
they just didn't do
it
it.
was just that the writing wasn't there because I've seen her in
Yeah.
other things that I really enjoy her in.
No.
Um,
Like
but
what?
well, for as dumb of a movie as it is, Guns Akimbo, I fucking loved.
She's in that?
Yeah, that's
I
Daniel
haven't
Radcliffe's
watched I know I
girlfriend.
haven't watched it
Oh,
yet.
you haven't? Oh,
No. I keep
it's
getting
an
told to watch
over
it,
the
but I haven't
top,
watched it.
ridiculous.
Yeah. He gets like
Stu-
guns like bolted to his hands, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's the movie's hilarious, but she's great in that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool. I'll check it out. I'll get
yeah.
around to it.
But with this, I mean, what was cool is she finally, after like talking with Ahsoka, Sabine does kind of understand a little bit more how to actually like use the Force, which was cool. Just because then her combat was stepped up from there. Like even during some of the fighting, she's using her lightsaber, and Ahsoka's like, use your blasters. Like you don't. Lightsaber's a good tool, but like that doesn't make a Jedi.
Hmm.
And then she's shooting over her shoulder, you know, all over the place. It was awesome. That felt so much more like Rebels.
Yeah.
Ugh. And
I
yeah.
say no, please.
Oh,
Go.
I was just gonna move on to the next topic, unless you have
Oh
something.
no. Well, I had oh shit. Did I lose it? No, I didn't lose it. Did I lose it? Fuck. Um No, I lost it. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
I'll interrupt you somewhere and be like, oh, I remember what I said. But
Um, what was really cool for fans of like Clone Wars?
oh, I know what it was.
Oh, cool.
See, I told you I was going to interrupt you. I saw online a lot of people were talking shit about the part where Sabine like uses the Force to like throw Ezra onto um Thrawn's ship,
Mm-hmm.
and people were like stitching it and going, "That's not how the Force works." Blah 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 blah. And but like, if you actually watch Rebels, they do that a lot. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we can't jump across that. That's super far. Here, I'll throw you, and then you pull me.
Yeah.
You pulled your hammer off,
Oh my
or
god.
your hammer pulled you off." But so that I don't think that they were trying to like make like a new Force thing. I think they were just
Mm.
trying to stay true to this show. Ahsoka is season 5 of Rebels.
Yeah. Basically.
I mean, it has very little to do with Ahsoka at all. The fact that they called it Ahsoka and not Rebels blows my mind.
Yeah.
Not to be a dick, like I love Rosario Dawson, like
And she killed it as Ahsoka.
yeah, yeah, but it really didn't have a whole lot to do with her at all.
Like the overarching like subplot was
Yeah,
all about her growth and actually becoming like a Jedi Master. But
which was like and scene.
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Anyways, I'm sorry I interrupted you. I told you I was gonna do it. You accepted it. Move on. What were you gonna say?
Because this is it was kind of a theory that I had that Ezra might do since he didn't have a lightsaber.
Hmm.
Was, you know, he's been on this place with the Night Sisters magic and stuff like that, using the sword that Mother Talzin uses in the Clone Wars series. But we do get Mother Talzin's sword, but Morgan Elsbeth
Shortly.
wields it for a little bit of time
It's very brief.
until Ahsoka kills her. And then now Ahsoka has Mother Talzin's sword, which is pretty
Well,
rad.
and not only does she have one of Ahsoka's two sabers got destroyed in that fight, and then now she has her saber and that sword, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's going to be a thing, but I think it's cool.
It is cool. I'm sure that she'll rebuild her other saber because
That's lame. They should totally have her keep that sword.
hell yeah, that'd be
Again, if
super
they
rad.
don't do that, that's gonna be the first thing I bitch about in season 2. I promise you. Mark my words, listeners. I will bitch.
You can believe him too.
Yes, you can.
We do see Ezra building his new lightsaber as well.
We talked about that. Didn't we talk about that?
Not on the show because it happened
I'm
during the finale.
so conflicted. This is the problem with me and you talking about shit just personally.
Yeah.
And then like when we come on the podcast, I'm like, we already talked about this. And you're like, no, dude, like
Like, yes, we talked
we
about it.
we talked about uh
And it wasn't quite what you had predicted,
oh, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah.
but it had elements of what you had predicted.
I wanted Ezra to end up with Kanan's lightsaber. He didn't, but he ended up with leftover parts of Kanan's old lightsaber or extra parts of a lightsaber.
Yeah, basically, Hu Yang just had like spare parts for his saber.
Yeah. Which then opens up your theory that Jason, Hera, and Kanan's kid will end up with Kanan
Kanan's actual
their-
lightsaber.
with the actual lightsaber. Because right now, the Empire, we don't know who has it, but the Empire has Kanan's lightsaber.
Yeah.
And we don't. I thought Thrawn had it because that was what they were saying was like this will be a good gift for Admiral Thrawn.
Could still be
Well,
like
they
in
never
his trophy room
showed-
on the ship.
Yeah, they never showed anybody actually give it to him. All we know is that the Empire
true.
has it.
Yeah. It's probably at a random cantina someplace where someone doesn't know the world could be so green. And Maz Kanata will end up with it. Oh, look at that.
Huzzah! That's what Cal does. He just wakes up out of naps and goes, and
I did it.
you're like,
I napped.
and then he just goes and falls back to sleep. It's so cute, but it's funny. Anyways, nothing to do with what we're talking about. But he said
No.
green, and I normally have red. If you watch this on YouTube, I normally have red in my room here. And today I was like, nah, I'm gonna change the color, and I went green. And Chad said green.
Yeah. I basically
Hi.
just used my eyes and pointed. What was cool, because I was kind of expecting this at some point during the show, was that we were going to see the Night Sisters use their magic and reincarnate some troopers that went down.
Some zombie poopers.
Exactly.
Zoopers. Zombie stormtroopers. Zoopers.
Zoopers. That
Yeah, Zoopers?
Zooper sounds right.
Okay.
Yes, Zoopers. But it kind of broke my original theory was that most of the troopers already were reincarnated corpses, just because they've already been there for 10 years, and
Yeah.
most of them have like broken to shit armor and things like that. But whatever. And we got actual death troopers, actual zombies, fighting Ezra and Sabine, like full on like decrepit zombies.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah. What is so I feel like we skipped over this, the Mortis gods statues.
Yeah, so that's the cliffhanger with Balin Skull, where he's standing on the rock face, and it's
Gotcha.
the Mortis gods. For those that don't know, and since you haven't actually watched Clone Wars, they don't really talk about what they are in Rebels. You just see them like on that mural, with like the hand placements and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the rumor is it's
I get that reference.
the Father, the Son, and the daughter.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Yep, got it.
Kind of, yeah. Just never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We need listeners.
It's the same level of made up. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
And they're gone.
Doubt it. Anyways, so there's the rumors, because at the end of the episode, Ahsoka sees the owl that was the kind of like the symbol for the daughter. We've been in Tales of a Jedi, when we see Ahsoka as like a toddler, the owl follows her around. I mean,
and in Rebels, the owl is everywhere.
Yeah, and also in Clone Wars, basically once they find the Mortis gods, whatever, then the owl becomes more prevalent in the background and stuff like that. So the theory is that Ahsoka took the place as the avatar for the daughter. The son has been missing. Don't know anything about where he really is. And then there's the father. But there is a mother in Legends. It's not canon anymore. But the mother is Abeloth. I think I'm saying that right. And she's just like pure chaos. Just pure dark Jedi chaos. And so it seems like that's what...
Which is magic, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Is it the Scarlet Witch?
Maybe.
Chaos magic?
Something, yeah. Definitely.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
That tracks,
I actually feel bad for myself for saying that. Keep going.
It's fine. But so my theory is that Balin Skull was being called to Pridia to free the mother, because she was imprisoned. We don't know for sure that that's where she is, but he keeps saying that like he's called for like a different purpose, for more power and things like that. So I don't know, and I don't know how they're going to approach that now that Ray Stevenson is no longer with us. Like, are they going to recast or do something like off screen?
I think they have to recast, because there's I saw like somebody posted something online. His belt that he's wearing has a broken kyber crystal on it. There's a lot to unpack with his character, and I don't know. It would be, I don't want them to recast, but I feel like there's a lot more there, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's kind of a bummer?
What?
This is not related to anything, nerd. This is just like, I was like, I'm not really like in the mood right now to podcast. I need to like have some drinks. And it caught up with me, and now I'm like way drunker than I wanted to be. So I think what it was that we met up for drinks earlier.
Yeah.
Right? And then I came home and let that buzz die.
Yeah.
But it didn't really go anywhere. So like I was like, I don't feel like podcasting right now because I'm not drunk. Let's do a couple shots and have some drinks. And the alcohol that was already there and the alcohol that is now in my body that I'm now putting in is like, hey, I'm the problem, it's me. And
Let's fucking go.
yeah, so I apologize for my demeanor, but well, I'm a little drunk.
It's fine. Mine is starting to catch back up because also I let mine.
Well, yeah, you purged yourself, so
It was not intentional. My dog had
it was. He's worried
explosive
about
diarrhea because I changed her food. This is no longer about Ahsoka. Uh,
I just made a comment. I noticed that I'm like slurring a little bit, and I was like, "Fuck!" And we're only on like the first half of the
Topic
podcast,
one.
and I was like, "Shit!" I should probably at least let our friends, fans, nerds, fellow nerds know
All
that
four
I
of them.
am.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
There's more than four.
your mom, your dad, my mom.
None of them listen.
I know, I know. This is funny. Anyways,
Well,
finish up with this.
Ezra gets off of the planet with Thrawn by basically being like, "Oh, Thrawn and I are trapped on this planet. Everyone's coming to rescue us. Uno reverse." And then everyone that basically came to rescue them is stuck there or dead. Looking at you, Morgan Elsbeth. And then they escape, and in true Ezra fashion, he knocks out a stormtrooper and gets a new helmet to his collection and sneaks off the ship once they arrive back in a different, far, far away galaxy.
But what's annoying about it is that they don't show any of that happen.
Yeah,
You just see
you see him like drag a stormtrooper's body off screen, and then the next time you see him is he's walking around.
yeah. He like walks onto Hera's ship
Yeah.
and like pats Chopper on the head and then pulls his mask off and is like, "Hey Hera." And then it's like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah."
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I did Superman. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
even
did.
do
It's fine.
Star Wars. Oh man. Well, that's where my allegiance lies.
And
Sorry,
this is
guys.
our last episode ever, clearly. Just kidding.
Dun, dun, dun. I say I had to finish it. It was stuck in my head.
But Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck on that planet.
Mm.
Shin Hati is stuck on the planet. She goes to go be the ruler of the land pirates, I guess. And Balin Skoll just climbed a mountain by himself to stand on a ledge and look off into the distance. And that's
He was sulking
well,
or brooding. He was brooding. Leave him alone.
it just. Also, this was a shorter episode compared to some of the other ones. Like for the finale, let it be the longest episode. Do a little bit more.
Yeah.
You're still setting up for season 2 or Heir to the Empire. You know, both of those are coming at some point in time.
You know what I
They
did
have to
notice? We talked about, I think maybe last week, you were a little annoyed. I was gonna say butthurt, but I went annoyed. And then I completely negated that to explain that. But you, you were upset about Thrawn's forehead. Like prosthetics and shit like
Yeah, they're just
I-
not as.
but I did notice at a couple points in the show in this episode they did do something there. It's not as
It's not as defined.
yeah, it's not as big and
And they
like
didn't
crazy.
do anything really on his like cheeks, because in the animated series, like his cheekbones are like out. You know, like.
Yeah, they should have clapped them, but they didn't. And but
I don't why that was so funny for me.
But I did notice that they did do some stuff with his forehead.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah,
just subtle.
yeah, which is yeah, it is kind of annoying because whatever. I don't want to get into it. We've spent a lot of time on this, Chad. Tell us about.
Our first sponsor is a sponsor that for some long-time listeners might recognize is Ray's Energy Drinks. It's a great energy drink with 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. And if you don't like energy drinks, they have like pre-workout, protein. They've got some plant-based options as well, which is pretty awesome. So listen up and learn how to save 15% on your order. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, friends, we are going to talk about a little bit of nerd news. Some of it is rumored, but we'll see. The
The Batman
Yeah.
2?
I'm struggling, dude. So the so the Batman 2, Matt Reeves, the Batman 2 with Pattinson. The rumor is right now that the main villain will be Hush. And I'm a little weirded out by this. Not weirded out by it, but Hush in the animated movie was the Riddler. And the Riddler was the main villain in the first the Batman movie. So it's like,
Again?
yeah. Again, it's a rumor, so we don't know that that's what's happening.
Yeah,
But
and they could be, I mean, and we talked about this off camera, but, if they're going to go with a little bit more of, like, the comic inspiration for who Hush was, it still ends up kind of just being a different Riddler. Because basically it's, the kid grows up, he's like the antithesis to Bruce Wayne, is orphaned because his dad tried to ruin the Wayne family, kind of, I mean, and we got so many like hints at that storyline in the first Batman,
yeah.
where that reporter was taken care of by the mob without actually being paid off by the Wayne family. But
And we know that the Riddler from the Batman, Paul Dano, grew up in foster care.
yeah,
Like he grew up the same way that Bruce Wayne did, but he didn't have a rich family.
just without money. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is what you're talking about. In the comics, it is
I don't remember the character's real name, but basically, yeah, grows up as an orphan, hating the Wayne family and Bruce Wayne because Hush's dad tried to expose some sort of corruption that the Wayne family was involved in. Gets murdered for it. So does his mom at the same time. Like,
Which is like the Batman
yeah,
is like what happens to, you know what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah, and a lot of that backstory was already like covered in the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I mean, that wasn't who Paul Dano's character was, but he was just another orphan that also grew up, despising the rich and the corrupt and stuff like that. So I don't know. I would like to see more of the Penguin actually as like a menacing like crime boss.
I want to see I want to see Barry Keoghan Joker.
Yeah,
I want to see that. I want to see Court of Owls. Like, I want to see some cool shit.
I would love to see the Court of Owls. It's just with the Gotham Knights video game and that really fucking terrible Gotham Knights TV show.
I didn't watch it.
Well,
I took your recommendation.
It was
not watching it.
It was the Gotham Knights video game storyline. Just diet.
Yeah.
There was no Bat family. They made up someone to be the adopted son / ward of Batman instead of using, I don't know, any of the 63 fucking Robins that have existed. You know, and instead of like a Bat family, it was like Harvey Dent's kid and other rich kids from the prep school and shit like that.
Played by Misha Collins, right? The guy from
who just
Supernatural.
Tried really hard to do his best Heath Ledger impersonation when he was the Two-Face side of Harvey Dent.
I didn't watch it, so I can't compare, but
there's literally a scene where he's talking to himself and he's like making the Heath Ledger Joker voice going, Harvey, Harvey, Harvey. And you're just like, that's been done by someone else playing a different character. Much better. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. Whatever.
Let it go.
Whatever.
Let it go.
Yep. These are just rumors. I would like to see different villains.
There was a rumor of Clayface at some point.
That would be rad. We haven't gotten live action Clayface.
That would be fucking dope. But it was going to be like not like the monster Clayface. It was going to be like a 1950s like actor who turned
Clark
got
Gable.
Got disfigured and like wore like a clay like
face. Oh, so it's the Phantom of the Opera. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
mad that I'm getting this frustrated because I loved the Batman.
Yeah,
and I
think it would be okay.
I
think it would be okay. It would be like a dark, gritty, thing, and then he would just probably punch Clayface at some point in his Clayface, and it would shatter like clay because it's Clayface. Yeah.
I don't really fight that much. I show up to the crime scenes and walk around and look at stuff.
You show up
you're like
you're
like a regular cop. Yeah, but the cowl goes up. For those of you that don't know, it's a college humor skit where Batman fires the Batman. Anyways, also it's rumored that the Fantastic Four cast is ready to go, but they're not going to announce until after the strike ends for the SAG actors. They're still in negotiations, kind of like we mentioned last week that the writer's strike has ended. So that's there. So now we're just kind of waiting for, I don't know, the studios to do the right fucking thing for everyone, not just
It's getting
some
better.
of them.
It's getting better.
I'm heated. Please go on with the next one.
The big one for me. This is a rumor, but Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds are apparently rumored to be the leads in the Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars movie. I think I shared this with you earlier. I think this would be really cool to see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man leading the Avengers in this movie
Hmm.
and having Tom Holland's Spider-Man seeing that happen and being like, okay, like this is what I'm supposed to be. Because in the comics, after uh Iron Man dies, Spider-Man does step up as the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I think that, and now that he's not like a high school kid anymore, he's been through some shit. Like I think this would be really cool to see Tom Holland Spider-Man in the next movies of Spider-Man be more of a leader rather than like a whiny British kid faking an American accent. You know what I mean? Uh,
You take that back. I love Tom Holland. He
I do
nailed
too.
it.
I do it. I I will always be faithful to Andrew Garfield. Sorry, best Spider-Man ever so far. But I do
But he
love
was
Tom Holland as
still a
well.
whiny British kid faking an American accent.
I know. See? I love it.
Also, with that, this is still. I mean, we do know that we will see John Barenthal and Kristen Ritter at some point in the Daredevil Born Again series, in season that's in the works. But with an updated call list, it seems that just based on the rankings on the call list, kind of shows, you can kind of gather how frequently these characters are going to be in there.
Mhm.
It seems like the Punisher and Jessica Jones might have larger roles than what we anticipated for this kind of like soft reboot.
It's like a spicy reboot. And when I'm talking about spicy reboots, it just reminds me of our sponsor too, which is Crybaby Creek's
We're
hot
just not going to
sauce.
talk about the other two things.
What?
About us going and seeing the creator, Gen V.
Oh, fuck. We put it at the top of the thing. God damn it.
You said you wanted to move it, so I moved it.
No, well, I
Not
didn't
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you moved it for you. That's great. But that was such a good
That was
segue
such
into
a.
the...
We can fake one for Gen V to get into spicy.
Keep it all in. We're
It's
good.
not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, so we did go see a movie.
Yeah.
We saw The Creator with is it John David Washington? The guy from
So.
Tenet, right?
Yeah.
Yes, John David Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie was fucking baller, dude. So I got the hiccups.
It's fine. It was super rad. It was. I'm not going to share exactly what you said, but there's some emotional parts. Also, like there's it it really kind of explores, artificial intelligence. Are they real? Not. Are emotions real? Things like that. But there is a couple emotional parts, and I'm assuming that at one point in time Jake was tearing up because at the same time I was getting a little teary-eyed, and he leans over and just whispers something to me, and I die laughing. And that's deflection at its best.
What was it?
I can't say what you said.
Oh, I remember. Yep.
But the movie was awesome. I mean, it was directed by the same people that did Star Wars Rogue One, which, in my opinion, one of the best Star Wars movies ever.
This is a good one.
I mean, what's crazy is they did this movie on like an $84 million budget. And then with the strikes going on, like their marketing, like that budget probably didn't even get maxed out because of the strikes. They couldn't market as much. They couldn't do press tours, anything like that. This movie looked so fucking good.
It was, yeah, it was really well done. It was
Absolutely incredible, in my opinion.
predictable. There's an algorithm that was followed, but
It's a
it
science
was,
fiction movie about AI,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
but
It was very fun. Uh,
there's
the
funny
action was
parts.
good. Yeah, the action was good. There were some heartstrings pulled that Chad couldn't handle, apparently. And
Such an asshole.
say it! Don't say
I'm not going to.
it.
Just kidding.
But I yeah, I have a problem with emotions, so
He doesn't like
I
showing
def
them.
I definitely felt a certain way and decided to
Deflect.
deflect big time. Uh, it was a really good movie. Please go check it out. I
Yeah.
know that I don't know how it's doing it in the box office right now, but it fucking A, dude, that movie was
It was, yeah. It was,
go watch it in theaters. It is worth it. That's what I'm
yeah.
trying to say. Sorry. Is like don't wait for this to come out. Please go watch this in theaters. But there are movies that where I'm like, I'm gonna wait for that to come out because I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Or I want to see it, but I don't care that much because on the big screen it's gonna be wasted. This one's not.
Yeah.
Please go watch this in theaters.
Oh, fucking yawn. Sorry. Not about you talking or this movie. Just,
Oh, you're okay.
oh, Euros. Cool. Um, sorry, that was a bad joke. Um,
We did have some good Euros though
we did have
recently.
some good Euros. But also, the latest episode of Gen V is out on Prime Video. I mean, it keeps giving. It's hilarious. It's very much The Boys, just with different people.
Yeah. With references to the
The
main
Boys.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool. Very gory. It's everything you want. There's gore, there's Was it you or Nicole that pointed out to me that there's nudity in it, but it's
It's
like
only
more
dick.
it's more dick than boobs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like not in like
I
a
bet you think that.
I like to look at dick. But I mean when you watch a popular TV show or movie or whatever, it's like, oh, we're gonna put some titties in your face and blah 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 blah. It's kind of cool that they're like, oh, there's gonna be nudity, but it's not gonna be the nudity that you want. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah,
It's not for
like,
your male gaze.
yeah. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good for them for like, I think Game of Thrones did it first, but they gave us
Wiener,
equal.
wiener, 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 wiener.
One wiener next
Next
to
to another
another long
wiener,
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 wiener.
wiener, wiener,
You
wiener.
also get to see a dick explode in this episode. It. What?
Because my dick also exploded during
Oh.
this episode.
Well, I didn't get to see that, so.
What? I
Ugh.
snapped it to you.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, all sorts of spicy wieners exploding. So
Oh, there. Yeah.
it
That's
was
a
it was
way better
forced.
segue. That was so forced. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to go into that with that. Anyways, sponsor number 2. Well, he did cry like a crybaby. So in a way,
And we can pretend like his name was Craig.
yeah.
He
Anyways, sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything, even exploded wieners. Listen up and we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, Our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, we are going to talk about episode 1 of season 2 of Loki. Before we get going here, just a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, check back in a little bit later after you've watched it. So 3, 2, 1, you had enough time.
So good. My first complaint after watching this is that I know there's only 6 episodes.
Yes.
And I already want more.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it looks rad.
Oh God. It's not a complaint, it's just something that's been a very funny trope, is that Tom Hiddleston flips his hair a lot. And it continues into season 2, just so you know. But one of the biggest things is at the Nicole and I watched the season finale of season 1 before we started this, and the big cliffhanger is obviously He Who Remains, aka Kang, aka Winnie the Bish, is. We love you, Lamorne.
Oh, I was just like mid sip when you did that.
And the cliffhanger at the end of season 1 is that after Sylvie kills He Who Remains, he was like, "I'll see you soon. We'll see you soon," or whatever, and like winks at her, and then still funny.
Still fun.
And and he dies. But he warned them that you can either take over as the new me, or you can kill me and see what happens. But if you kill me and don't take over, then there's going to be millions of versions of me. And we know now, that the Kang Dynasty is Avengers. The Kang Dynasty is, coming. So, and by Ant-Man, the end of Ant-Man 3, and the end credit scene being Loki 2, you know what I mean? Like, this is leading up to the Thanos level threat of Avengers. And it was really cool to see in season 2, episode 1 of this. They don't waste any time. Like Chad said, there's only 6 episodes, but they don't waste any time showing that Loki is warning everybody, like, "Yo, we went to the end of time, and we met He Who Remains, and he is terrifying." And Sylvie we fucked up. He said we fucked. He didn't say fucked, but he's like, "We fucked up," and he's coming. Millions of versions of a very bad person is on their way here, and we need to stop it. And at that point, Mobius was like,
Who are you?
"Who are you?" And so I mean, it kicked off with such a fuck, man.
And to build on that, because I mean, they even do it like in the trailer, where it shows Loki like time slipping. So it turns out that he was pushed back to the TVA, but in the past.
Yeah.
Where the TVA like acknowledged that Kang was the ruler. And then Kang probably they even say he erased all their memories and then put in the timekeepers and everything like that. Yeah. To the point where you even see him like prune, which is what they call it, where they use like the dissolve stick 3000 to get rid of people, but he does it to a wall, and behind it is statues of
It's like a
multiple
mural,
Kangs.
kind of,
Yeah,
or like a carving into the wall
yeah,
of Kang. Yeah,
yeah. But of like multiple Kangs.
yeah.
Um,
And it's, I mean, they call you mentioned they called it time slipping, right?
mhm.
Because it just keeps on slipping into the future.
Which is hilarious because at one point in time he does slip into the future.
And if you don't get that reference, you are under 30 years old, and I'm sorry.
I would argue that if you don't catch that reference, you should have your parents' permission to use the internet
To
before
watch
listening to the
this.
show. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I saw a moment and
Seized it.
I
Or
seized
did
it. Yeah.
you didn't let it slip?
Not into the future anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how's your mom's spaghetti? Oh,
It's on my sweater already, but
oh, that's right. Are your knees weak
stop,
or arms
stop,
heavy?
stop.
Oh, no.
If I get one more pop culture reference out of you, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm just saying something's coming. And if you don't catch
my God.
any of those references, because there was several in there, you should consult a physician or an adult before continuing on with the rest of the show.
Talk about the door. Hold the door.
Hold door. Hold door. I get it now. I get it now. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold the door.
There is one part in the episode where they're kind of going through, like, almost not forgotten, but very not heavily traveled parts of the TVA. And they come to a door where you see the time loom, is what they call it. Because it basically just weaves all the timelines into one, so then it can be, like, organized, whatever. Like a loom does. But when the door opens, it looks very X-Men. You know, it's the circle and X's coming up.
It is very X-Men. They just painted it.
Yeah. On one side it's red, on the other side it's like eggshell. If my time watching HGTV in the past has taught me anything, it's not white. It's just eggshell.
White.
White.
Hate. Herbs. And spices. I love that guy. Anyways, moving on. Why are you straying so far from the topic, dude?
No, we're in the middle of our notes. There is a door that just very much resembles the X-Men door. And it's rad.
Yeah, it looks like Professor Xavier's cerebral room doors.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, the X-Men door. You know, like X-Men.
I mean, it literally has like an X. There's like a circle.
And then like a light in the middle of it. Like it is just that.
It is that, but it's painted red.
Mm-hmm. They didn't paint it black though.
No, because it's not a Richter. Okay. Bye,
everyone. We got it. We did it. It's the peak of comedy. We can quit now.
Yeah. Anyways.
Now that song's stuck in your head.
Stuck in my head. Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, all jokes aside of two intoxicated man children, this show, the first episode of season 2, mood ruiner. I can't even get through a sentence because of how ridiculous we are. It continues on with how great the first season was.
It really does.
I mean, like we said, at one point in time, Loki does like time slip into the future. Trying. I'm trying. And no one's around, and he sees Sylvie, and she's like, "Oh, there you are." And then he like slips back into standard time.
Reality.
Shut the fuck up. We have to get through this.
We?
Hopefully.
Sorry, yes. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
And then there is an end credit scene. Basically, what Mobius had to do was pull Loki from time, which I'm assuming is kind of what they do to make the TVA agents in general. That's probably why this mechanism exists. What happened?
I don't know. You heard that, right?
No, I just see you freaking out.
Oh, I tried to type something and my computer's like,
Yeah.
no, you're not allowed to type. Apparently. All right, I'll just close that. I'll do it on my phone.
Fun times.
Sorry.
But there is... Oh, excuse me. There's an end credit scene. And it's probably where we saw like some behind the scenes footage and stuff like that. Sylvie basically finds herself in the southern Midwest of the United States in the 1980s and in a McDonald's. And she's just amazed by it. She wants to order everything. And back then, in the 80s, like, it wasn't that heavily regulated. So she might have gotten, like, some crazy-ass shit. If you've watched The Founder.
Why am I struggling so bad right now?
I don't know. Now I'm just kind of rambling because I know that you have something that you want to say, but I don't have anything else to, like, build off of it.
I just don't want to say his name wrong. The kid from
Short Round.
Sure, yeah. That's not his name.
I know that's not his. That's what his name is
for
in
some
Indiana
reason,
Jones.
my computer is not letting me.
I don't know how to say his name either, but it's like he.
See, that's why I'm worried.
Let's just go. Temple of Doom.
Hang tight, friends.
Tell him that joke you know.
Chad Hilson.
Oh, there's not like a pronunciation for it.
Oh, now it's fucking working. You fucking fucks.
Ki Hu Kwan?
Yes.
I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. But he's kind of like, he fixes the tech at the TVA. He's kind of in charge of like archives and stuff like that.
Well, and that he's such a big deal lately. I mean, this guy just won an Oscar. Like,
yeah,
this is amazing.
Everything all at once.
Yes, right? Yes.
I mean, think I got that movie title wrong. Also, but
Everything, Everywhere, all at once.
I was close.
Yeah. So this is really cool that he's in this, and
because he took a break from acting for basically shortly after Temple of Doom up until the past.
But he was still doing stuff in Hollywood, and what's really cool about it is that he was, because he is like a good fighter, like he did a lot of coordinating. He did a lot of like
he just
for other movies and like fight scene coordination and what's the
choreography.
Thank you. And I'm really happy for him that everything's good for him. Blown up.
I mean,
you're blown up, and I love it.
You see him in interviews, and he just seems like such a genuinely good person too.
Yeah,
which just makes his revived success all the better.
And it's super funny because they're like, hey, Loki is time slipping, and he's like, that's not possible. And then he witnesses it happen right in front of him, and they're like, do you see? And he goes, yeah, but that's not possible. And they're like, dude, you just saw it happen.
And then Loki like slips into the past and then talks to him, 80 years in the past. And then they have a conversation. He's like, oh yeah, I think I met that guy before. Loki, you said his name? Like, as they're having the conversation, because they're literally like rewriting time as this is happening. and it just makes it so funny. I and now that there
I've
is
said it
season
before,
two,
and I'll say it
we're
again.
gonna get a wow out of Owen Wilson.
Oh, I hope so.
Wow, we almost got one in season one.
This is my favorite TV show, Marvel TV show so far.
Mm-hmm.
I they're all very good. Well, mostly. I won't say. But I do love Loki is my favorite.
Yeah,
I fucking love this show so much. And this is supposed to tie directly into the King Dynasty, and it's very evident with the first episode that,
and
yep,
I mean,
that's where this is
but
going.
Kang Dynasty also is supposed to tie very heavily and directly into Secret Wars. So, and we're already kind of getting that from this with going back in time in the first episode and then adjusting the future in real time. It's insane. Like, this is just wild, and it's so entertaining.
Mm.
I'm, again, my biggest qualm, if you will, is that there's only going to be 6 episodes, and I already know that I want more. And we're 1 episode in.
Balls are out, baby.
Any last things about Loki?
Nope.
All right. Now, before we close out this episode, we do have some honorable mentions to talk about. This is kind of where we, things that might not necessarily be nerdy or things that we want to take a lot of time on. But, Jake, what do you have for honorable mentions?
Well, it is spooky season, and I love my horror movies.
And the others, but go on.
Yeah. Anyways, we watched Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton.
That was Tim Burton, wasn't it?
It was Tim Burton,
Huh.
and
Makes
yeah,
sense.
didn't you know because Johnny Depp was in it?
And Christopher
And
Walken. And I'm sure Helena Bonham Carter's somewhere in there, too.
I don't think she was. Christina Ricci is in it, and what was really cool is I snapped you, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Gambon was in it.
Yeah.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Uh, but yeah,
Dumbledore.
that was really fun. I really enjoyed that movie. I know, whatever. I don't care. It's fun. It's bloody. It's funny. It's dorky. Christina Ricci is a crush of mine. So is Johnny Depp. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Why? I'm not.
But
I agreed with both of those statements.
But and then last night we watched Guillermo del Toro's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's okay.
That's fair.
What about you? What do you have?
Well, I rewatched Mutant Mayhem, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated newest film, which we talked about on the podcast. But I saw that it was out, and I was like, I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch this again. And still enjoyed it. Nothing changed. Loved
Nope.
it. Still so good.
We watched it a second time as well, and yeah,
It's
great.
so good.
Great movie.
And then I started watching Legion. It was kind of like a spin-off, its own X-Men universe. It was a FX TV show. I'm in season 2 now because
Oh, you're still watching it.
I will probably finish it. Just otherwise, it's gonna drive me nuts. But I'm 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes into season 2, and I already have lost interest. The first half of the first season, awesome. It was a little creepy. You didn't really know what was going on. It was a little like
It's for those of you who don't know,
mind-fuckery.
it in X-Men 2, like X-Men 2 with Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, like the OG cast of X-Men. The kid in the wheelchair that's like fucking with everyone's head. Uh, that is who the character is in this show, Legion.
And both in Legion and in X2, it's wrong.
Mm.
Basically, it's Charles Xavier's child, who is like the strongest mutant, can rewrite timelines just with his mind, things like that. In
He
X2,
can maybe
it
like
wasn't.
turn back time, turn back reality.
Yeah,
One
because
more
he
pop
doesn't.
reference out of you.
He doesn't keep on slipping into the future.
Different song, but
I
same
know, I
era.
know, but same.
I was hoping you were gonna say if I get one more pop reference. But anyways,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
You said it for me, so I didn't have to. Thank you.
I forgive you. I forgive you.
Oh yeah, thank you. I need a lot of that forgiveness in my life. But yeah, I mean, it's even if you like look up the show, like it's a completely separate universe. It's all fuck around and find out, and then I already know because I looked online to be like, who's this character? And like, oh, they were made up for this show. Who's this character? Is made up for the show. Who's this character? Is made up for the show. And I was like, this is getting really annoying. And then I saw how the series ends, and I'm like, cool. I'm super excited to finish this. Only
How
I'm
many
not.
seasons are there?
There's 3 seasons, and at the end of it, he just erases the world. He just eliminates their universe.
He just gods.
Yeah.
He just Christian gods the world.
Which is what, I mean, in the comics, that's what his, like, character is capable of. But because the show got canceled, they're like, we have an easy out. Let's pretend this never happened by erasing it in the show. Cool. Bleh.
Wow, it sounds very Twilight.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, it was all fake. Hey, here's this big build up. Oh, just kidding. Never happened.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad 7 movies led up to this. Um,
Can you imagine if that shit went on for 7 movies?
how many did it actually go on for?
4.
Twilight?
Yeah.
Was it only 4?
Yeah, because it was 3 books, and they saw that everyone from the Hunger Games
God.
to Harry Potter were like, this last one's going to be 2 parts.
Well, it felt like 7 because that shit was garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah, I don't. I've already started losing interest in Legion. The part of my brain is gonna force me to finish watching it, and I'm just gonna be mad for the rest of it. But yay. On that note, I mean, if our listeners like what we're doing here and want to support us, the best way to do that is to what, Jake?
Jack off. Hard. Real hard.
And then give us your money.
Oh, yeah, and then
That
give
was-
us your money. Masturbate vigorously.
We'll know. We'll know. But yes, the best way to do that is go to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a monthly subscription service where you get some member-exclusive merch, some bonus content, behind the scenes, everything like that. If you don't want to do it on a monthly basis, I mean, we totally get it. It's kind of lame, but we get it. You can head over to allthingsnerdpodcast.com. We do have a new website that is in the process of being built that should hopefully be launching within the next couple of weeks.
Thanks to
Marty at Digiket Tech. And when that site launches, we'll also put a link to Marty over at Digiket Tech so that you can reach out if you have any sort of digital marketing strategy or web design or any sort of needs for that, because he's awesome. We've seen like mock-ups and stuff like that so far, as well as marketing plans and shit. And
I got a
he's
sneak
a
peek last
fucking
weekend, and
wizard.
it looks amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait for
he's a
our new
wizard.
website to drop. Yeah.
So you can always go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com, pick up some merch. It's just kind of a one-time deal for you there, but you still get something out of it. Plus, we are now doing all of our merch printing in-house, which is pretty rad.
No wait times.
Yeah.
Other than,
Yeah.
there's no shipping to us and then shipping to you or anything like
it's
that.
heavily... It's streamlined. Let's just phrase it that way. And if you don't have the means to give us your money, I mean, again, still lame. I mean, just ask people for $20 and then give it to us.
Rob some people and give us their money.
Yeah, give us their money. But you can always just like, share, subscribe, give us 5-star ratings wherever you find this podcast. Interact with us on social media. It all helps, and we definitely appreciate it. Any sort of funds that come into our possession goes right back into the show or to the people that are helping us. We don't pocket anything because we don't need it.
We don't have pockets. We just don't wear pockets.
It's true.
No. All jokes
like
aside,
chapstick.
we literally take no profit. This is for fun. It's always been for fun. We want to do more fun things in a bigger, better way. Your money helps us with that and also helps us pay the people that are helping us for free. And we love all of you that are doing that. We'd like to pay you. We just can't because we can't even pay ourselves.
I'd like to pay you more. So bring it home, Jake.
This is the All Things Nerd podcast.